I fancied this girl. She was very nice, beautiful, and I moved to Railton Road. I didn't know anybody. I was around boys back in the day who would, you know, go pickpocketing and things like that. Linton Kwesi Johnson. He was the poetry teacher. He made his first album on Island Record from the youth club that I went to.
Hello, welcome to the Community Hero podcast. I'm Micah and we're here today with our guest. Could you tell us your name and a bit about yourself?
My name is Barry Simpson, and well, I was born in England, Brixton, 1957. Windrush generation, lovely parents.
So, what does community mean to you?
That's a good one. Community means everything to me. Without community, there's nothing going on. So, like, when I was growing up, my father was a barber, yeah, so everybody came to my house. So, yeah, everybody, no matter, all types of people from Africa, Caribbean came to my house. So, what that meant to me was a big classroom, a big place where I could learn so many things. So a lot of what I learned, what I do, comes from the community. Came from those people who came to my house to get their hair cut and things like that. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Essential.
So, who would you class as your community heroes?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. It might sound away, but it's my parents. My dad. My dad was a musician. He was a barber. He worked. He looked after 7 children. We didn't need to beg, steal, or borrow. He looked after my mum. My mum looked after him because it's a team. So I'm sure he couldn't have been what he was without my mum, and my mum couldn't have been what she was without him. What I learned and was able to put food on the table was from people within my community. The first artist I came across was my mum. She held my hand, drew a little profile face, and then that turned into the person next door who used to do painting. And they go, "Oh, you drew that? What about doing some painting? Have you ever painted? Have you ever used this? Have you ever used that?" There's a person who might be. We were very musical. All my family was musical because my dad was also a musician. We used to sit all the family together on a weekend and sing songs. And through that, through doing those type of things, like my mom used to, my dad had the guitar, we had piano in the house, my dad used to play flute, all kind of different instruments, and my cousins as well were very much involved in that. So we didn't have a drum, but we had a washing machine that made a good sound.
Yeah.
So I became the drummer. And through that, I'm a drummer. I drum. It led me into theatre. I used to go to schools. I used to go to at the Commonwealth Institute, they used to have a place called the Bazaar Room. And through my drumming, I met this man. He saw me drumming, and he said, "Oh, you did, could you want to join my group and things?" So we ended up going to schools, and my dad used to sing things like, "Carry me, I could go Linstead Market, go down a Manuel Road, girl and boy." So I used to sing those songs. And this man, he came from Sierra Leone, and he used to sing these African songs. So we combined the two, and we went into classrooms, and we sang the songs and brought over the culture that way.
What type of youth work did you do?
In the 1980s, I fancied this girl. She was very nice, beautiful, and I moved to Railton Road. I didn't know anybody. But on that road at the time. But I knew that she went to this particular youth club. Yeah, see what youth club can do, community. I went to that youth club, right? And I looked around and I didn't know anybody, so I headed straight for the art room. I was 14 years old, and I started drawing this picture. And the art teacher in there looked at me and she said, "Oh, did you draw that picture?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Oh," and she brought me to the youth leader there, and he said, "Oh, would you like to teach the children to draw? And I thought, teach? And he said, yeah, come on, you can do that. And he started paying me. I got £12 a month. Being in that environment, I met so many other people were doing other things in that youth club, but that's how it got me into the community, you know, through going to a youth club. Well, I could draw. I didn't think that my drawing was going to do anything because that was not my intention of going into the youth club in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, put it that way, I got a job at 14 and I got my girlfriend. And I was very pleased.
What made you want to continue youth work?
Where I grew up, like I said, I was in the barber shop. Yeah. So I used to go to my bed and there would be people in my house, wake up and there's people in my house. So all those those people who came around were able to, I was able to learn a lot of things from those people. Yeah. I learned a lot of things from those people that put food on my table. I was around boys back in the day who would, go pickpocketing and things like that, or tell you to come and do this, or tell you to come and do that, like a little short run to get some money. In that same youth club, Linton Kwesi Johnson, have you ever heard of him? He's a poet, yeah?
I personally
Yeah,
haven't.
well, check him out, right? Linton Kwesi Johnson. He was the poetry teacher. So he was my poetry teacher. Then you had, he made his first album on Island Record from the youth club that I went to. Back in the day, we used to go to Germany on exchange visits. So I used to go to Germany. I went on the TV, went to schools, colleges, places like that, talking about my experience as a first generation, Caribbean, Jamaican in England and things like that. Then they would come to England, stay in our house, come to Brixton, take them around, things like that. I went to Jamaica for the first time when I was 17. Your parents come here, you leave. I've got, like for us who's born here, our grandparents are only by name. Yeah, we don't know them. So, and also I had a sister. I had a sister there. I had my grandmother, because my dad's parents had already passed away. So those type of connections, when you're sitting down, you're born in Brixton, and your dad's talking about Frank Field and Summerfield and all these type of things on the dray and riding the donkey down to the river and all these type of things. Yeah, you're sitting down and you don't know. It's fascinating. Ghost stories. Oh God, when you don't want to go to your bed, and things like that. So when I went at 17, all those things came alive. Yeah. Right now, I was 17 when I went to Jamaica, and I met my mom's my mom's mother, yeah, and I stayed there, and she up in the hills, there's no running water or electric or anything like that, yeah, some pit toilet and all them type of things, yeah. So I went there, and come from England, and you wanna drink a water or anything, you just go there and you get some water and you dash it here, dash it there. So in the morning, she bought me some water in a little bowl, bucket, basin thing. And to wash my face, and I washed my face, and I just about to dash it away. And she said, no. And she got some socks and something else, and she used the water and she washed them, and then she rinsed it out in some clean water. And that lesson has remained with me. I am 66, and it's still with me. Water is a very precious thing. Yeah, me and you couldn't sit down here talking without it. So they taught me those little lessons. You For instance, my mum used to say she'd go 3 miles to get water before going to school, walk 3 miles. And then you see somebody want to go down to the end of this road and they wait for the bus for 15 minutes.
How do you feel about the current reduction of youth service?
When you do informal education, yeah, which the youth service is, it's very important. A young person can maybe become frustrated and use a swear word. It's not a matter of, oh, going to ring your parents, and all these type of things. It's about understanding, yeah. So the youth service is a very empowering work to do. To be a youth worker is very empowering because you're meeting people in the community all the time. For instance, in my youth club, back in the day when there was the sus law and all these type of things, people come, they don't know how to handle certain things, and you're there and you can support one another. For instance, in a youth club situation and in a community situation, you might go out and we were just talking about the police earlier on. Something, like for instance me, when I was 14 years old, my thing was going to school and work in the classroom, play in the playground. Yeah, you don't play in the classroom and play in the playground. So that's how it was. But I got taken off the street by police, stripped naked, yeah, looking for a wallet and things like that. I was able to understand that situation because of the environment that I grew in and the stories, like I'm saying, going back to the barbershop again. Yeah, people coming with all the stories and things about what happened to them. So when that happened to me, I understood it. Because when I was 4 years old, for instance, my brother came here at 14 years old from Jamaica. Yeah, that's the first time I'm meeting him. I'm only 4, he's 14. And same age and he came back from school with his face busted because he didn't understand the environment that he was in. So going back to the fact that that happened to me, in the youth club situation, you find that something happened to this, you might see somebody come to the club and they sit down and, what's happened? You don't have to know them. You don't have to know them, but you have to know what happened to them. Because what happened to them can happen to you, whether good or bad. Yeah, so we were able to share those experiences and support one another in that type of environment. Yeah. But now that the youth service has gone in that way, you find that the young people haven't got that connection. They haven't, you have to learn from the elders. This is the way it goes. Yeah, you're born and you learn from your parents, and you learn. You have to creep and then you crawl and you stand up and you do your thing. But you're gonna have to learn that from your elders. You don't go to school and learn from somebody who's your same age. You learn from the elders, the people with experience. So that is where the youth service came to me, where when you have these experiences and you haven't got anybody who you can relate to, you bottle it up, and that can become very volatile and frustrating for certain people. Yeah, and so that's where the support came in. Youth service is very important. It's a very empowering place to work to do.
After touching on the police,
Yeah.
could you tell us a bit about the riots in the 80s?
You had the SOS law. And whether you were good or bad, like I said, my thing when I was going to school, my dad used to say, me no want no thief. Yeah? Make sure you have your one. Yeah?
Could I just ask you, what is the, I don't know the correct name for it, the SOS law?
I'm walking on Brixton Road, for instance. Police came over, grabbed me. They put me in the police station, yeah, and then they stripped me naked, looking for a wallet, yeah. When they didn't find the wallet, the policeman told me to bend over, and he got down on his knees, yeah. He got down on his knees behind me, and and look for the wallet. Now this is what this is what it meant to me. Why these things have to happen. So that was my experience. That would have traumatized a lot of young people. But the environment that I came from made me understand what was going on. So that was the SOS law, yeah. So and after you're a person that that there's the young people out there doing negative things, but you're trying to do the positive thing, and you still end up in a situation like that, yeah. When there's no comeback. What happened was that, call your parents, you've been arrested. Oh, right. Oh, he didn't do anything. There's no stain on his character. Go out the door. And that happened when I was 14 years old. Because a lot of other people were going through the same situation, and they were fed up of it. Yeah? They were fed up of having to face these type of things, because the innocent was suffering for the bad, and things like that, and people were abusing their powers. So enough was enough. I lived on Railton Road at the time when the incident happened, and the police came, and it just all went boom.
So, what do you know of the Windrush generation?
My father, my mother, my brother, who came to here when I was 4 years old, all those people. When I was growing up, my parents came here in 1954, and from I was born, people from the Commonwealth, so to speak, Nigeria, Ghana, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, no matter in the Caribbean, they all came to my house because everybody came, and they were looking jobs, and everybody wanted to look smart and things like that. And there were no barber shops, and there was no, back in the day, when you wanted something, you went to the next door neighbor. My mum used to make dresses, bake cake, curry goat and rice and things like that for party. Yeah, it all happened in the house. It all happened in the house. People were very close. People, like for instance, in my house, like I said, my house was like a community center.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Community Heroes podcast. We hope to see you on next week's episode. Please follow, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Bye.